Hello and welcome to another Parts Factory Australia installation tutorial video. Today we're working on this Mitsubishi Triton. I believe the year model goes between about 07 and 15. Don't hold me to that. The specifics will be available all in the bottom of this video and the title and that, so check out all that information. Basically what we're working on today is all of your intake and turbo hoses, etc. We've got all three of them here at Parts Factory. That includes the intercooler to throttle body, turbocharger to intercooler, and of course the actual air intake hose itself. This one here that goes into your airbox. Now in relation to these ones, just to start, there are two types. I think it's 280mm length and 260mm length. Details are all going to be in the bottom. We only have one at the moment, but we are getting the other one, so by the time you're watching this you might even find we've got all four types. So yeah, definitely worth checking that out. So it's a really straightforward job, as you can imagine. We are talking about a couple 10 mils in most situations. In some cases you might have to use a pair of pliers, like on this one here. But other than that, obviously these ones are slip on, slip off. Proper tightening of the hose clamps that are on the old pipes. Obviously, you know, that's so that they don't pop off under boost pressure. Now if you're running, say, a tuned ECU, etc., you might find that this hose has popped, or even if you're not running a tune, across the life cycle of these things, obviously the material degrades over time, so yeah, they blow up, either whether or not it's turbo or the throttle body one. I think the throttle body one is the more common one, this one here, basically because obviously you're rushing a lot of hot pressurized air, and then when you let off the throttle body obviously closes up, so you can imagine these inflating and deflating over and over again thousands of times, and then obviously pop, usually about here, pop straight through the side. So we've got that replacement just there if that's something you need. Obviously this one here runs from the turbo. You can see where my hand is just here, hopefully. Hello. Just that one there. So yeah, it's the same thing again. I'm not going to swap that one today because obviously it's the harder one to get to, but you know, it's two hose clamps, guys. You've got one little 8mm here, you got one 10mm just there. I recommend removing this air box, obviously. To do that, take this 10mm, pull this plug, two 10mm, lift the whole air box out, and that's actually super duper easy to access. This one 10mm here, pop this pipe off, literally pop it off, smack that new one on, and you're good to go. Alrighty guys, so we're going to get into today's tutorial, which we've obviously chosen this big one over here. That's the main culprit. That's the one that we sell about 10 units a week online. So pop these ones up out of the way. We're going to open up our new Parts Factory Australia hose. Oh, there you go. Right, so obviously guys, you've got a 10mm hose clamp here and one there, and that whole pipe is just going to pop off. So I'm going to attack the one down here first, literally just making sure I'm loosening, not tightening. One, and then of course you can just grab it and sort of wiggle it, and it should. Actually, what we'll do is we'll take this one off as well, that way we get a bit more leverage. Literally just grab it, give it a wiggle, see how it pops off like that. Take that hose clamp off, and then you can kind of hopefully just, as long as that hose clamp's loose enough, you can kind of just twist it. You can get your hand in there properly. Hopefully we can just crack that, kind of split it there. See how as soon as we split it, it becomes extremely easy. You don't want to lose your hose clamp, so we're still just gonna, I might just loosen off that 10mm a little bit more. Part out of the way, and there you go there. Gonna pop off hopefully like a glove. There you go. Don't lose your hose clamp. And yeah guys, it is really that easy. Alright, so I just wanted to make a note before we go any further. If you have a look in this throttle body just here, you'll notice a lot of oil and soot build up. So this is a telltale sign of either turbocharger seal issues or a high kilometer motor where the oil is actually blowing past the piston rings and becoming involved in the whole circulation of air. It's not, you know, warning signs to sell the car, but the one thing that you do want to look for is, like, for example, if you have a look, see my finger, we have a whole lot of carbon and oil buildup. The oil actually accelerates the process of degradation on this plastic hose. So what I'm basically saying to you guys is, yeah, you're changing the hose to a new one, but obviously this is popped for a reason. If this doesn't get rectified, or etc., you might go through one of these once every 2 to 3 years, depending on how hard you send your car. So just bear that in mind when you're considering about warranty, etc. Genuine or not, it's all the same. It's plastic. They're obviously quite a good quality part. We sell that many of them, but yeah, in the future it might happen again, and that's just something you got to deal with owning a turbocharged diesel. Right, so I'm obviously not going to be changing this hose because there's nothing actually wrong with it. So basically it's now time to do the exact same job in reverse. I'm going to put the bottom on first because I want to try not to lose that hose clamp. So I've just slid it in there, and then obviously sliding it on. We've actually got the help of the oil that's caked to the inside of the pipe, hopefully. And then obviously this clamp here, we want to face the 10mm towards us. Just gonna slide that on, and because I've pushed that on, it's actually pushed the bottom one on further, which is actually what I was trying to accomplish. So now it's time to set our tool to tighten. Now it doesn't have to be too tight. You don't want to rip it off, rip these threads off this clamp. But one thing that is important is to always make sure that the clamp is tightening back down on exactly the same area as when you first found it. Now obviously you want to bring the hose clamp around into position, making sure it's perfectly aligned, and of course tighten it up. Alrighty guys, so that's all it. I'm not going to go ahead and show you these other pipes because, as you already are aware now, it's the same setup. So you're welcome to have a look on our shop to see which one you require. The only thing with these ones is they actually snap off, instead of popping, they actually break off the end here where the turbo is. So if that's the issue that you've got, yeah, we have the same air intake to turbo hose available on the shop, so definitely check that out. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching another Parts Factory Australia video. My name's Lucas, and I'll catch you next time.